everybody, it's Deb here. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for joining me and being here with me today. And thanks for subscribing. So are you guys ready for Christmas? I am not ready for Christmas yet. So we're going to go ahead and get ready for Christmas together by creating some fun little Christmas cards using the card kit by Jolie. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for our cards, I've already cut out my all of my stuff that I'm going to use to create the A2 cards. Now I'm going to bring in some things that I found over at Amazon to kind of complete my cards. And I found these little sleeves that you can stick lip balm inside, and they're just little lip balm holders. So, and I just thought these were the super cutest things ever. So, so I thought I would get some. The other thing you can do is you can wrap up some money, and you could stick the money inside of there. What a great way for either a Christmas gift, birthday gift, or a graduation gift, right? I just thought this was so awesome. I just thought that this was such an awesome idea, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. And we're going to make 2 of these cards. And I'm going to show you both ways on how to do the card. So the first one we're going to do is this one here. And then I cut out some like little tags. And I've also got, you know, the little wreaths, and I've got buttons. And I've got the bells. I've got some more ephemera, okay, from the card kit. And then we've got these wonderful flowers here. So we've got tons of stuff to decorate our cards with. So for this first one, okay, we're going to go ahead and lay this down. Now, what I'm going to do is this is going to be on the front of my card. So this is going to go like this and then like this, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over this card. This is an A2 size card here, and then I just went down 1/8 of an inch for this one and then this one, okay? So they all kind of, you know, border around each other. So, okay, so for this one here, what I'm going to do is I am grabbing this little guy, and this is the sticker that comes with these, okay? So I'm going to actually tear this off. And actually, this was supposed to come off with it. So tear that out. Okay. I'm going to stick that right on top of there. Okay, and I'm just going to put this back on top of here because that's where I want that. Okay, and I'm actually going to cut around this, okay? And I think that is crooked. Yep, it sure is. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this off, and it does come out without tearing anything. Yay! So then I'm going to stick it back on, and we're going to go ahead and trace around it. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to lay this down here, and I'm going to kind of make sure that it's in the middle and that it's straight, hopefully laying on there straight. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around this. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of fold this a little bit, and we're going to cut right there. So I'm just going to fold that, come up next to that area and cut it. Then unfold it, and now you've got the start for cutting around this little piece here. Now this is going to go over the little holder, okay? So basically you're just going to go ahead and cut all the way around this. Okay. Let's see how this goes. And I just remembered I was supposed to trace this first. Trace this first all the way around. Okay. So you want to trace it first because this because you may need to cut a little bit more off, okay, to get this around here, and you want to know where your lines are. So here is your lines. So now we're going to go ahead and continue cutting. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut all the way around. Okay. I'm just going to cut it all the way around. And then this piece here, so this piece here, you can either save that or, you know, decorate with it later, or, you know, whatever you want to do. Or you could throw it away, whatever you want to do. Okay. And then see how you have your drawing lines on here. You want to go ahead and cut on that line all the way around. This will help your little lip balm holder fit perfectly in, you know, your actually your sleeve fit over your lip balm holder perfectly, is what I'm trying to say. So just like this. Okay. And here's your little lip balm holder, and it's going to go over this perfectly. So now what you're going to do is you're going to grab this part here, okay, and you're going to go ahead and take that off and just place it on the edge of the round, the lip holder. Okay, so I'm just going to grab that, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on top. Just like that. Easy peasy. And it's on there. So now all you have to do is just make your card. Okay. And I am just kind of burnishing this on here really good. Just want it burnished on really, really well so it doesn't come off. Okay, just like that. Now, if you want to, okay, so you have this part. This is actually going to go on top of here. So, but before you attach this, you want to make sure that you have it in the right area. So I'll show you a trick what we're going to do. So you're going to go ahead, and I'm going to grab my glue. Okay, and I'm only going to glue up top here. Okay, and then I'm going to set this down just like that. Make sure it's even all the way around. Go ahead and burnish this down. Okay, and it did slide over some. So slide it back over. There we go. Okay, lift this up, right? And you can go ahead and take this off. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, you can if you want, but I'm just going to put like a little bit of glue. And what that glue is going to do is let me slide this on. Okay. Hold that in there. And I'm just going to go ahead, put this on the outside, right? Lay it down. it's going to be adhered. Now this is going to be adhered, but your card part is not going to be adhered yet. So you do need to adhere that on. So now you can go lift this up, and you can go ahead and finish adding the glue underneath. So I'm just going to add glue here, around here. And now you're just going to, again, put your glue around your areas that need to be glued down. And then you're just going to go ahead and burnish everything down really good. Make sure everything's, adhered down. And now you're done. Super easy peasy, right? Now you can just go ahead and you can glue this on top of here. So we're just going to glue this to the front of our card. And then you're going to burnish everything down really good and make sure your front is well adhered on top. I decided to use one of the cut apart tags and just back it up onto black cardstock so it would stand out more. And then we're going to glue that down, cut around it, and then I'm going to poke a hole in it and then just add a little bit of gold seam or trim to it so it has a little bow. So here I'm just cutting around that and lining everything up, get the best I can. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little gold bow on top, and then I used some foam tape on the back so it would pop up a little bit. I added that little gold wreath. And then I added these little words, Jolly Christmas. I just thought that was super cute. And that's about it, you guys. I really didn't do anything else to the front. I mean, you can definitely decorate the front the way that you want to. I just thought this was really simple and it's nice and, goes along with your little money. The next thing I did is I went ahead and decorated the inside. Something super simple. I fussy cut out those little trees and then added a tag inside. Okay, so now we're starting with card number 2, and everything is an A2 size card, but we have 3 layers, okay, and then including the base is 4. So here I went ahead and cut everything to size around the A2 card measurement, and then this is the card front that we're going to be using. Now here is the lip balm holder, and I'm just going to stick the lip balm inside. I wanted to share with you what it's going to look like if you just place this lip balm holder on top of your card instead of having it have the bottom part underneath the pattern paper. So here I just went ahead and glued my panels all together, and they're going to be placed on top of the A2 card. And I know I used black for my card base because the pattern on here is black. I thought, it kind of looks really nice, and I love the richness that the colors stand out. The red, the white, and the green really stand out nice. So here I'm just going to go ahead, take the backing off of that lip balm piece, and I'm going to stick that right on top of the card front along with my little lip balm inside. Okay, and I just think that's so cute. Now, of course, this one isn't a Christmas one, but it was cotton candy, and I know my grandkids like that. So this card is for my granddaughter. She's been wanting a card, so I thought, you know what, I'll go ahead and make her a Christmas card. So here I have this little Santa tag, and so I went ahead and backed that up with some red cardstock. And we're going to go ahead and do kind of the same thing that we did with the other cards. So we're going to go ahead and just cut around that. Now, if you want to, you can definitely measure everything out and cut it and everything. But because I'm on camera and everything, I thought this is the quickest way for me to do mine. So, and to show you how to do everything, that just, is quick and easy. So here I went ahead and stuck some foam tape on the back like I did the other one. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and pop that up. And I just want to say real quick, just want to throw this in here that I've been doing some hops. We have a new group called the Paper Sisters. So every month we will be throwing out a new themed hop. So, and there are prizes. So please join us so that way you can have a chance to win some prizes. And you must be a visible subscriber. So don't forget, you guys subscribe to the channels. So here I opened up those beautiful little buttons from Button Galore, and I went ahead and put one on top of the tag. These are just so stinking cute. I love them. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I came in with some words to try to figure out what I wanted to put there, but nothing seemed to work. So I thought, oh, I'll just deal with that later. So came in with some trim that I had in my stash, and I just went around the little plastic bottom of the lip balm holder, and I added some tape to it, but it didn't hold very well. So later on I do come in with a hot glue gun, and I just hot glue the trim all the way around the base of that lip balm holder. Now it is plastic, so that could be why nothing was holding on to it. It could be the trim itself. I'm not sure what it was, but it just wasn't holding on. So again, I just went ahead and used a glue gun to place the trim on, and it stayed pretty well. And that I'll show you that in just a bit. Y'all, I still apologize for my voice. I know I'm kind of better, but I still have this cough, and so I apologize for if I cough. I don't mean to, or if I sound kind of raspy every now and then, but it's just it's just because my throat is still, and I'm still coughing, and my throat is still kind of getting better. So anyway, I went ahead and added some flowers to this, just one little flower, and then because nothing seemed to work, I just decided to go as far as the words. I just went ahead and decided to use one of my stamps. So here I had one of those stamps that I got a long time ago when Michael's used to sell those little tiny packs of stamps. And so this one says Merry Christmas, and so I decided to go ahead and just use that, and it fit perfectly. I just love it. So I thought, that's perfect. Okay, here is where I came in with the hot glue gun, and I'm just gluing this trim all the way around the plastic part of the card. Now, I know they're going to rip this off of here, so it will rip the card and everything, but I do have another idea on how to get the lip balm out of here by just doing a little tweaking of this, and that card we're going to do in another video. Okay, so for card number 3, we're going to start out by coloring this pattern, which is one of the collage papers. And here I'm just taking my finger after I colored it, and I'm just kind of rubbing it out. And this is a really cool technique. I really like it. And so here you're just going to go ahead and color it, and you can use any color you want. I'm using red because we're making Christmas cards, so I decided to go ahead and do that. And then you can color the whole entire little filigree images inside, and use your finger to rub them out. So next what we're going to do is we're going to grab this beautiful little pattern paper that has the sprigs of tree branches on it, and we're going to go ahead and put some collage medium on top of that. And I'm going to add my collage tissue paper that we just colored on top of there. Now my goal is to have that pattern on the pattern paper come through the back of that collage paper. So that's the goal. So I don't know if that will happen. So we will see how that goes. But I think, in the end, it worked a little bit. It didn't come through as much, but the red is just so beautiful. I really love how this came out. And so here I'm just taking a little napkin and I'm just rubbing it down all over the top of this pattern paper. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to cut this out. So here I'm just going to go ahead and mat down this red music sheet, and this comes in the Simple Stories paper pack, and it's so pretty. So the red, I have to say, the red in here is just so vibrant. It's like that pretty Christmas red, right? Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this collage medium and we're going to go ahead and place this all along the white spots on our collage paper that we glued down to the front of our pattern paper. And I was hoping that this would kind of like bring through the little fern or pine needles that were on the back or the front of this pattern paper, and it does after it dries. You can kind of tell that it's the background is kind of turning green just a little bit, and I just kept spreading this around. So you can kind of, if you go over the red, okay, it will kind of blend out. So you'll see here in a minute, because I went over some red earlier, and you'll see that it's kind of blended out a little bit. Okay, so here is my finished card front, and so I thought that it looked really good, and so I just left it and I went ahead and backed this up on top of the green mirrored cardstock that I had, and we're just going to go ahead and burnish that down really good, and then we're going to go ahead and put that on top of our card. Now we're going to come in with some foam dots, and I'm just putting these on the back of the card, and I just thought it would look really nice being raised a little bit, and so we're going to go ahead and just add this right on top here. Make sure your card is the right way, so I had to double check mine. And then we're going to go ahead and I'm going to add some glitter to this. Okay, so next I went ahead and grabbed my glue pen, and then I just went ahead around the filigree areas and just kind of placed my glue pen where I wanted my diamond shimmer dust. And this diamond shimmer dust was from a previous kit. I believe it might have been from last year. And you can tell I already did the filigree that is on the left hand side, and now I'm doing the one that's on the right hand side. You can place your own glitter if you want to use stickles, glitter, whatever you want to use on top of your card. I just thought it added a nice little shimmer to it, and then also it just makes it really pretty. So thought it needed a little bit of that. So I went ahead and grabbed one of the bells from the kit and some of the flowers and just placed those on top. Now I went ahead and glued everything down, but I ended up having to take everything off because I couldn't fit the word that I wanted on there right. And so you'll see here in a minute, I try to find a word that will go in there or something, and it just is not going to work. So I ended up having to take everything off, because here I am trying to fit everything on there. It's not working right. So I decided to go ahead and just maneuver the flowers around and everything, and see how everything kind of looked. So here we are. Finally, I moved everything off, and it did, kind of mess up a little bit the front of the card, but that's okay because we're going to cover it back up. So so here's the Make It Merry, and this is one of the ephemera pieces from the kit. And then I stuck the little bell up there. I just had to have that bell. I just think that those bells just are so cute, and especially because they have the little silver or the gold bells up on top of them. Then I added the little flowers on top of there, and added 3, you know, and then took the leaves off of one of them and then glued it on just like that. Now what I did next is I went ahead and went around the Mary part with a black pen, and I didn't do that here on the camera, but I will show you later on. Okay, so this next card is pretty much has to do with scraps. And you're going to cut a piece of cardstock 11 by 6, and you're going to score at 3 and 6. And then you're going to go ahead and cut an inch off of the bottom part of your card, okay? Next, I'm just grabbing my scraps and I'm just placing them down. Here I have 2 panels or 2 pieces that were about 1 inch, and I went ahead and placed them one on the end here that I'm just going to cut off, and then I went ahead and placed another one on the other end, and then I am going to place a piece of scrap that I had left over in the middle, in between them. And this is so easy, you guys. This is another great way how you can use your scraps to create a card, and you don't always have to just, you know, throw them away or whatever. You know, this is just another great way to use your scraps. So I did cut down this piece because it was a little bit too big, and I didn't want it covering up the full part of the green panels. So and then it had a little bit of red on there from the coloring that I did, and I just left it on there because I really liked it. Once I adhered my pattern paper on top, I went ahead and just cut the excess off. Now here are some more scrap pieces that I had that I decided to go ahead and use, and I'm going to go ahead and glue on the 2 panels, the side panels first, and then I'm going to snip off the excess, and then we're going to come back in. I'm actually going to cut the middle part smaller because it is a little bit bigger than what I wanted, and so I thought I needed a smaller piece. So here I cut it down to size that I wanted, and I just went ahead and glued it right on top in the middle. And I just think that this looked so good. I love using scraps for this, and it looks like, I mean, it just looks good. So I hope you guys are liking it, and I hope you guys get some inspiration on how to use some of your you know, scraps for your cards. So here, this whole piece is just one piece. This is actually in the paper collection. And this is where I kind of got my inspiration from. And I just thought that it was a great idea to use your scraps on the panels and just to use up your scraps, right? So I do have other cards that I've created where we've used scraps on the front of cards before as well. So you can always check out my playlist to check out other cards I've created. So here I took one of the collage papers and I went ahead and just glued that down. Now we're going to use the collage medium on top of the pattern paper first, okay, and then we're going to lay down that that collage paper on top. Now after you lay down your collage paper, you're going to go ahead and make sure that it is completely adhered down by using the collage medium. Okay, so if you need to get more collage medium, you can always just put some more on top of your brush and go ahead and lay that down, or brush that on top of your collage paper. Now here I went ahead and added some clear gesso, and what I meant to do was to kind of spritz some of the mica sprays on top of this, but I think I forgot, so so we didn't end up doing that, but it still looks really cool, and I really like how it looks. And so here I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the excess from that collage paper. And I'm just going to leave that collage paper white. I don't end up doing anything with it, or, you know, spritzing it down or adding paint to it or anything, because I really just liked how it was coming through that paper, and or showing the background of the pattern paper, I should say. Now here's a fun technique to do with your mixed media kit. And so you're going to grab your collage medium, put it down on your strip, that is the 1-inch strip that you cut from the bottom of your card. You're going to grab your collage paper and go ahead and paper that. And here I went ahead and picked the one collage paper that says Christmas on it. And then I went ahead and put the word that says toys. So I just went ahead and cut that out, and then I tore a little bit of it so it would kind of blend into the back of the other one. So went ahead and added some more collage medium down, and then placed that up on top of my little strip. And it wasn't laying down right, so I kept having to bring it up and then lay it back down so it would cover the whole thing. And then I just went underneath it because it wasn't all the way gluing down. And then I went ahead and tore the back of that, and then just clipped off the excess, came back in and went ahead and placed on the remaining part that I wanted on there. Now I am gluing all of this down with the collage medium, okay? So here I am thinking what I need to put down on here, and I really liked where it said Christmas or postcard, and then it said 25 greetings. And so this is another piece of your collage paper. And so I went ahead and laid that down. And again, you're just going to go ahead and cut off the excess. You're going to come back in with some of your collage medium, and you're just going to go right underneath any pieces that you feel like weren't all the way glued down. Just go underneath and then go back up over on top and spread the collage medium all over your little strip here. So after this dries a little bit, okay, you're going to go ahead and we're going to come back to that. So we're going to let that dry. Next, I went ahead and fussy cut out this door from one of the cut apart cards, added the little red wreath that is in the card kit, and then I did add some foam tape to the back of the door to just kind of pop that up a bit. And then I added a little bit of foam tape to the back of that wreath. Here, I loved this Christmas wishes, so I went ahead and added that on there. I just added a couple of bits of foam tape on the back of that. And just kind of curved that around there. And then once this is dry, you're going to go ahead and come in with some of your spritz, okay? So these are the distress mica stains, I should say, and we're going to go ahead and spray these on here. Now I'm shaking and shaking and shaking because the mica does settle to the bottom, and so you want to make sure that that it's all shook up, so that way when you spray it on, you can see the mica kind of shine through, and it is so pretty when it does. So here I'm spraying the green on a couple of times, and I really like how the two mixtures of the green and the red kind of connect here, because it looks like a yellow, right? But really it ends up being like a gold color. It is really, really pretty. And I really, really like how that looked. So I spritzed it a couple of times and then would let it sit for a second, come back in, and then kind of get a paper towel, kind of blot it down, you know, and then I just kept doing it until I got the desired look I was looking for. So here I'm getting my heat gun and I'm just kind of drying it a little bit. Now we're going to go ahead and add this to the bottom of our card. You're going to take the long piece first, okay, and you're going to go ahead and put that across the top, okay, glue that down, and then the short side you're going to go ahead and put that at the back of the card. All right, this is going to be this is how it closes and opens with that little piece. Now the back of the card, you can go ahead, if it gets messy, go ahead and cover it. That's what I did. I used red cardstock on the back of mine. Next, I just started adding ephemera to the bottom of this, and I just added a few here and there. I fussy cut out that little stocking and stuck that on there. Next, I came in and added the bells up in that middle panel. And then here is what the finished card looks like. So we're done with our beautiful Christmas cards, and I just think they turned out great. So I hope that you all liked the tutorial today and that you got some inspiration from today's tutorial. So let's take again a look at some of these cards. And this one we had mixed in with the November card kit with the mixed media kit. And this is such a simple little card to create. Then we did this one again with the mixed media kit and the card kit using the word, the bell, and some flowers. And then I just went ahead and added some little pieces on the inside that were scraps. This one, we made 2 of these using the lip balm holders, and I'll have the link down below for you. And I fussy cut out some little trees, added a little tag, and I can write my little message here. And then same thing with this one. I can open this one up, added a little tag, and I can write my message on the inside. So these are the cards, again, that we made for Christmas. I hope that you guys liked today's tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. I have all the links down below for you, and I will be talking to you soon. Bye! Thanks for joining me today, y'all. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial, and head on over to Trace Jolie to check out their shop. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment.